What were the Silat movements like? How did he teach you?
So what he taught, here I'm going to record some of this too. And I'm going to get it back. About 15 here. So first we'll just start with a couple basic things. I won't show all of it, just a bit, and that's some stuff that you can work on as well.
Great.
So first is just the footwork. Okay, the force that I showed you. So we're going to stand here. We're going to imagine there's a box. Okay, so scoot a little closer. So we call it sidestepping first. So you step, kind of like you're knife tapping, and go 100% weight. Okay. You go the other way here. Okay. Now the idea is that we're on the same box, right? I'm going to step where you're at. You're going to step where I'm at. Ready? So you step. Okay. Right. Now this is an exercise. This next part is not application because we would never turn our backs to somebody.
Yeah.
But we're going to rotate this way. Okay. Good. Now we're going to step back this way.
Step back this way.
Go the other way.
Sounds interesting.
That's it. So it's an exercise to build that unique sense of balance. Okay.
Right.
And now from there we can make contact. Okay. So we're occupying the center. Okay. We turn again. We're going to step. Good. We're going to rotate. Good. Rotate back. And step. Okay. So that was the first part. So you're learning how to move in a very confined spot. Okay.
Right.
And like Brother Skeet was talking about in New Jersey, because there's a prisoner in a cell because he works in the corrections. He's a correctional officer. You got a cell this big. You got to get the guy out.
Yeah.
This movement's great for that. You're learning how to move in a small space. So that's what it is. You're learning how to occupy that space.
Yep.
Okay? Because I would move around you. That's the idea, right? So I could move around you. So that's where it starts. Okay? Building the sensitivity. Later, you take the box pattern, and then off the box, you make your triangles. You see, so it kind of expands. So then you start learning here, I can step. Okay? So now I have the box and the triangle. Okay? I can step out this way, right? Go to the tip. Okay? And step in again. So it expands to a diagram. So you see how all of your footwork connects. Okay? Later we start seeing the hand techniques, which I should have showed you before, is the straight punch, right? This one here, so the 1, 2, 3. So in Indonesia they call it a juru. So J-U-R-U, which just means hand technique. Okay. So the punch, this one there, that's the juru 1. Okay. Good. Okay. So juru 2 was a capture. So if you punch, it was this. Now punch again. So you punch again. Right. Punch again. That's the motion. So what we practiced is we would make circles. So kind of a Fibonacci sequence. This way, or this way.
Spiraling in.
Yep. So it was fun too. We'd go outside, like take rocks, like heavy rocks, and lift and go under, catch. Under, catch. Right? So we're learning to build that strength. Okay?
Yeah.
But you see that too, even with the stick captures too, as I'm grabbing to pull you.
Yeah.
Okay, I want that kind of yank motion. That kind of motion. Okay? So that was that motion. So the first thing we started with was the footwork and the jurus, but he realized that it's very interconnected with Kali. Okay? Because where do the Indonesian people come from? Or sorry, where do the Filipino people come from? Is the Indo-Malay, right? So 30,000 years ago, you had the Negritos, who were the African pygmies who migrated to the Philippines, right? Then you had the majority of them were the Indo-Malaysian people who migrated. So that's why in way southern Philippines, they don't say Kali, they don't say Arnis or Eskrima, they say Silat, but it's in the Philippines. So the cultures are very, very interconnected. So, does that make sense? So that's why Greg saw there's lots of similarities. They call some of the Filipinos in the south, the Muslims, call it Silat. Well, why is that? Well, you go back far enough, it all connects. So that's why too, when we'd work and we'd say, hey Greg, show us more Silat. He said, you're already doing it. Because all the hand movements that they do with our sticks, it's the same thing. Similar oranges, right? So,
yeah, I mean, so you have like these kind of things. These are like, places to grab and pull.
Exactly. So if you watch a lot of, like, if you YouTube some Silat, you look at their hands, it's Sinawali.
Right.
That's what it is, right? So if you throw a punch, right? So that kind of motion there, right? So that kind of motion there. It's Silat. That's all the Silat. It's the same thing, yeah. So it's the same kind of motions. So you see it too. I mean, maybe the Wing Chun's more straight, but we'll do more circles, right? So I'll go here to check, right? Those kind of things, right? So once I go here, I can pull here, yank those kind of things, right? Here, boom, like that. So you see that it's the same thing. The sticks do train those motions, and of course you're already looking at that, but your Sinawali, that's all my hand motions, obstructions, strikes, whatever it would be. Makes sense? There's the Silat. But then you start moving too with footwork. Is the coiling stances, like you see too when we spar or whatever. I do motions like this. Okay. So I would also call it a false lead if I'm here, right? I step back. Okay. Right. So there was lots of that in the Silat too.
So false lead because you have the lead stance here is kind of retracted, but it's right there.
Exactly. I'm switching feet, so I don't really have a right lead.
Right.
But I have my right shoulder support. That's why I call it false lead. But there's lots of motions like that in the Silat, right? So the same thing.
And that's what you call the coiling?
Coiling, yes.
Right.
So here, the coil, right?
Because by flipping the hips from the coil, you have that energy.
And it's good too because this position too, Greg used a lot, like in sparring, right? So even with sticks, that's actually one of the craziest things I ever saw Greg do. Is if we do this pattern here, right? Here, like that. So he goes under. So he did that when I saw him. It was funny. In mid conversation, he's talking, right? And the guy tried something, and he just went down. and never a conversation. Just went back down and kept. So by the way, boom like this, Yeah.
So that collapse.
Yes.
That's the coiling also.
Yeah. So when I'm here, this way. So, and that's you think geographically too. Yeah, the Philippines is very marshy, so you learn how to move. Right. So this kind of stuff here, right? So here, right? Right.
I got you. Yeah. How to shift your weight. How to shift momentum.
And it's good to learn how to move like that. So, because like I said, it's good to play low. So the lower you can play, the better.
Right.
Makes sense? Makes you more dangerous.
Right.
So, directed it to a sparring too. If we're moving around, if you let it get low. You see, it's hard to.
So you're going onto a knee.
Yep.
Right.
Here. Right. Yep. So once I'm here, take a walk. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Funny story. So, one of the first jiu-jitsu classes I took here, right? And I stood up. Like this. And one of the blue belts said, "What are you doing?" Because his training is standard base.
Right.
And I didn't say anything, but I'm thinking I was taught to never put my hands on the ground. Okay. Because as soon as I'm here, I got access to my legs.
Right.
So once I'm here, I'm moving this way.
Right.
So.
Right.
He thought it was because I didn't know what to do.
Right.
I said, I get it. That's not what I do.
Right.
I'm not gonna put my hands on the ground. I gotta have free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Advance. It's like a snake.
Exactly.
And advancing up and strike.
Very, very. So similar to like a shoot, like that kind of motion there.
Yeah.
Right. Can be good. But it's good for sparring. If I move in here, right, like that, you kind of get low, learn how to advance, go through. Right, does that make sense? Boom, like that. So learn how to play low.
Yeah.
It's great for your legs too.
It is good for your legs.
Oh man, you're gonna get powerful legs. It's good for your joints because your knees are getting a good range of motion.
Yes.
So, because they think about that, like this is bad for your knees, and you look at like a lot of physiotherapists.
Right.
They disagree. They're bad because you're not doing that.
Right.
They need that range of motion.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So look at that again. Okay, so that's good. So the way you want to work on that is the Silat I showed you this one, right? Okay. So you go here. Okay. And now it's the same thing. I can go knees, right? And same thing this way, like this way. So I'm learning how to move I can go on the toes, right? I can go flat this way, like that, okay? And later that becomes stuff like this. If I'm here, right? Hooks, like that.
Totally. I mean, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu throws that are like around that. So like we get here, and I'm still learning these, so I don't really know.
Right.
But it's
Nice, yeah,
it's,
exactly.
it's that.
Yeah.
And then there's also stuff like, so you have the hooks, and down,
Right.
and then there is stepping inside.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
So, similarities there. I love it.
Yeah. Cool. That's a lot.
It's a lot of stuff.